Okay, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about that feeling, that quiet, nagging feeling that you're somehow behind schedule. But look, this isn't going to be a pity party. This is a battle plan. It's about taking those years where you felt completely overlooked and turning them into a secret weapon that no one will ever see coming.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You're scrolling through your phone and you just see this endless highlight reel. Everyone seems younger, faster, richer, and that little voice in your head, it just starts whispering, you missed it. Your shot's gone. It's too late. And it's this weird, quiet shame that just kind of settles in and makes a home inside of you.
But I want you to consider a completely different way of looking at this, a powerful reframe. The longer the fuse, the bigger the explosion. The world might think you're just sitting on the sidelines, waiting. But what if you're not late? At all? What if this entire delay was actually a form of protection?
All right, let's get into the first part of this. The very first thing we have to do, and I mean have to, is tear down this massive lie that we've all been programmed to believe. This idea that there's some kind of universal, one-size-fits-all schedule for success.
I mean, think about it. Who told us that our lives are supposed to peak in our youth? Who decided that if you haven't made it by 30, you're officially off track? This isn't biology, people. It's not a law of nature. It's a marketing campaign. It's branding, designed to sell you a fantasy and, frankly, to keep you scrambling.
And you can see exactly how this system is built, right? Hollywood sells youth because, well, it sells tickets. The tech world worships the kid billionaire because it sells this impossible dream. The entire machine is designed to create this constant sense of urgency, this fear that keeps you chasing a finish line that isn't even real.
And here's how that external branding becomes your internal reality. The writer Napoleon Hill had a name for it: cosmic habit force. It basically means that any thought you repeat over and over again sinks into your subconscious and becomes you. So that voice in your head saying it's too late, that's not your gut instinct. It's just a recording of all that programming playing on a loop.
So, if that whole timeline is a lie, then what were all those so-called lost years actually for? Well, here's the pivot. They weren't lost, not at all. They were your training ground.
I want you to think of it like this. A blade that's rushed out of the fire might look all shiny and new, but it's brittle. It'll break in the first real fight. But a blade that's been forged the hard way, heated in the fire of rejection, hammered by failure, and then cooled in these long, quiet seasons of waiting, that blade becomes unbreakable.
Just look at the story of Colonel Sanders. I mean, at 65 years old, most people would have given up. The guy was broke, he was sleeping in his car, and restaurant owners literally laughed in his face. But every single one of those rejections, every no, was just another hammer strike forging the steel of his will.
Just let that number sink in for a second. Over 1,000 times. He didn't win early. He won when he was finally ready. He won when the weapon was fully forged.
Or think about Vera Wang. She wasn't some kid prodigy. She failed as a figure skater. She spent decades working as a journalist, basically invisible to the fashion world she would one day dominate. Her vision wasn't some flash of youthful genius. It was built from nearly 39 years of quiet observation and incredible patience.
Okay, so let's get specific. What exactly are these weapons that you've been forging in the dark all this time? Starting late gives you these distinct, almost unfair advantages that early success, which is so often built on just hype, it just can't compete with.
First up, you have pattern recognition. While other people are seeing single events, you see entire cycles because you've lived through them. Second, callous resilience. Rejection doesn't shatter you anymore, does it? It's just information. And finally, ego-free clarity. You are so done trying to look successful, you're just focused on being successful. Purpose has finally replaced performance.
But here's the thing, none of this matters if the war inside your own head is already lost. The most critical work you're going to do is right in here, grabbing the controls of your mind and completely rewriting the script that's been running on autopilot for years.
And Napoleon Hill gave us the tool for this too. It's called auto-suggestion. And what's so interesting is that most of us have been practicing this negatively our entire lives. We've rehearsed our failures, our limitations, our fears so many times that we've actually mistaken them for our identity. So now, we're going to use it on purpose. This is your new code. The old script says, I'm too late. Your new script is a command. I am precisely on time. Now, you don't have to fully believe it at first. That's not the point. You just have to say it deliberately. You're not faking it. You are rehearsing a new reality until the old one has no choice but to fade away.
All right, now for a crucial warning. I really need you to hear this.
You can do all this incredible internal work, but if you return to the same toxic environment every single day, you will sink.
And it's not because you're weak. It's because environment always beats willpower. And here's the trick. A toxic environment rarely looks toxic. It usually just looks familiar. It sounds like the comfortable laughter of old friends or family who say things like, "Oh, come on, you gotta be realistic."
So, you have to become a gatekeeper, not just of your time, but of your energy. This isn't about being cruel, it's about survival. You gotta start saying no to conversations that shrink you. You have to walk away from people who only want to talk about the old you. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your growth. You just owe it to yourself to protect.
And this brings us to the most powerful phase of all, embracing the silence. This might mean you have to disappear for a while. And let me be clear, this is not admitting defeat. It's a profound strategy. Real transformation doesn't happen on a stage. It happens in the quiet, when you're finally free from the noise of everyone else's opinions.
And this journey you're on, it has an impact that goes way beyond you. Our culture is obsessed with speed, right? With fireworks that burn out in a flash, but it is starving for substance. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs fire that burns slow and steady and for a very long time. You're not here to catch up. You're here to set a whole new standard.
So this is your mission. This is the new mantra. If nobody sees you right now, good. You're not being left behind. You are being rebuilt. The person you used to be simply cannot take you where you're going next, so you have to let them go. Rebuild in silence, and then one day, when they're not looking, return so completely transformed that they don't even recognize you.